The Adventures of Chuckleberry Finn. Chapter 1. Chuckleberry's Grand Entrance. In the quaint town of Chuckleville, nestled between rolling hills and giggling streams, there lived a boy named Chuckleberry Finn. With a shock of unruly hair and a mischievous twinkle in his eye, Chuckleberry was known far and wide as the town's resident prankster extraordinaire. On a particularly sunny morning, Chuckleberry decided it was time to unleash his latest masterpiece upon the unsuspecting citizens of Chuckleville. Armed with a whoopee cushion and a bucket of glitter, he set out to pull off the greatest prank the town had ever seen. As the clock struck noon, Chuckleberry made his grand entrance into the bustling town square. With a flourish, he placed the whoopee cushion on the mayor's seat and sprinkled glitter into the fountain, turning the water into a shimmering rainbow. The townsfolk gasped and giggled as they watched Chuckleberry's antics unfold. Some shook their heads in exasperation, while others couldn't help but admire his audacity. Love him or loathe him, there was no denying that Chuckleberry Finn knew how to make an entrance. And so, with a mischievous grin plastered on his face, Chuckleberry sauntered off into the sunset, ready to concoct his next uproarious scheme. Little did he know, this was only the beginning of his hilarious adventures in Chuckleville. Chapter 2. The Mysterious Case of the Missing Socks. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the town of Chuckleville settled into the gentle embrace of night, a strange mystery began to unfold. It all started when Mrs. Puddlebottom, the town's sweetest old lady, discovered that her prized collection of hand-knitted socks had vanished without a trace. Word of the missing sock spread like wildfire through Chuckleville, sending shockwaves of panic and confusion rippling through the community. Everyone had their own theory about what had happened. Some blamed it on sock-eating monsters, while others suspected foul play from rival knitting enthusiasts. But Chuckleberry Finn had a different idea. With his keen eye for mischief and his nose for trouble, he sensed that something fishy was afoot. Determined to crack the case and restore peace to Chuckleville, Chuckleberry set out on a quest to uncover the truth behind the disappearance of the missing socks. Armed with a magnifying glass and a trusty sidekick in the form of his loyal dog, Snickers, Chuckleberry began his investigation in earnest. He combed through the town, searching high and low for any clues that might lead him to the culprit. After hours of tireless searching, Chuckleberry stumbled upon a trail of yarn leading into the depths of the Chuckleville forest. With Snickers by his side, he followed the trail deep into the heart of the forest, where he stumbled upon a hidden cave concealed by a thick curtain of vines. Heart pounding with excitement, Chuckleberry cautiously entered the cave, his flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon of hope. And there, nestled in the shadows, he found the answer to the mystery of the missing socks. A band of mischievous woodland creatures using the socks to fashion themselves makeshift hammocks. With a mixture of relief and amusement, Chuckleberry confronted the culprits and struck a deal. In exchange for returning the socks to their rightful owner, Mrs. Puddlebottom, the woodland creatures would receive a steady supply of acorns and berries as payment. And so, with the mystery solved and peace restored to Chuckleville, Chuckleberry returned home victorious, his trusty magnifying glass held high in triumph. Little did he know, this was only the beginning of his wild and wacky adventures in the town of Chuckleville. Chapter 3. The Great Banana Caper. After his heroic triumph in solving the case of the missing socks, Chuckleberry Finn found himself craving another thrilling adventure. And as luck would have it, adventure came knocking in the most unexpected form. A banana-shaped blimp hovering over Chuckleville, dropping bananas by the dozen onto unsuspecting citizens below. At first, Chuckleberry found the sight hilarious. Chuckleville had never seen anything quite like it, and the townsfolk couldn't help but laugh as they scrambled to catch the flying fruit raining down from the sky. But as the bananas continued to fall, it soon became clear that something was amiss. With his curiosity piqued and his sense of mischief tingling, Chuckleberry decided to investigate the source of the banana blimp and put an end to the chaos once and for all. With Snickers trotting faithfully by his side, he set off towards the outskirts of town, following the trail of banana peels left in the blimp's wake. After a treacherous journey through the Chuckleville jungle, Chuckleberry stumbled upon a hidden clearing where the banana blimp was parked. Guarded by a gang of mischievous monkeys wearing aviator goggles and clutching bunches of bananas, Determined to outsmart the mischievous primates, Chuckleberry concocted a cunning plan. With Snickers distracting the monkeys with his adorable antics, Chuckleberry sneaked aboard the banana blimp and took control of the steering wheel. With a mischievous grin, Chuckleberry piloted the blimp back towards Chuckleville, where he unleashed a torrent of bananas upon the unsuspecting monkeys below. The tables had turned, and the monkeys found themselves bombarded with their own fruity ammunition. As the monkeys retreated in defeat, Chuckleberry emerged victorious, hailed as a hero by the grateful citizens of Chuckleville, and as he watched the banana blimp drift off into the sunset, Chuckleberry couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. Little did he know, even greater adventures awaited him in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 4: Chuckleberry's Wild Ride at the Carnival. With the banana blimp adventure behind him, Chuckleberry Finn found himself yearning for more excitement. And what better place to find it than at the Chuckleville Carnival, a riotous festival of fun and games that drew visitors from far and wide. As Chuckleberry made his way through the bustling crowds, his eyes widened with wonder at the sights and sounds of the carnival. There were games of skill and chance, rides that soared into the sky, and vendors selling all manner of delicious treats. Eager to dive headfirst into the festivities, Chuckleberry wasted no time in joining the fray. He tried his hand at every game, from ring toss to duck pond, winning prizes left and right with his uncanny knack for mischief. But it was the carnival's main attraction, the legendary Ferris wheel, that truly captured Chuckleberry's imagination. With its towering heights and dizzying spins, it promised thrills unlike anything he had ever experienced. With a mischievous glint in his eye, Chuckleberry queued up for the Ferris wheel, eagerly anticipating the wild ride that awaited him. As the wheel began to turn and he soared high above the carnival grounds, Chuckleberry felt a surge of exhilaration unlike anything he had ever felt before. But just as he was reaching the peak of his excitement, disaster struck. The Ferris wheel suddenly ground to a halt, leaving Chuckleberry dangling in midair, high above the carnival below. With his heart pounding and his stomach doing somersaults, Chuckleberry realized he was stuck. But true to form, he refused to let fear get the better of him. Instead, he seized the moment as an opportunity for yet another daring escapade. With a mischievous grin, Chuckleberry began to swing from car to car, using his nimble agility to navigate the precarious situation with ease. And as he swung through the air with the greatest of ease, the crowd below erupted into cheers and applause, cheering him on as he embarked on yet another wild adventure. In the end, Chuckleberry's daring antics saved the day once again, earning him the admiration and gratitude of the carnival goers. And as he finally touched down on solid ground, he couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. Little did he know, even greater adventures awaited him in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 5: The Curious Incident of the Talking Parrot. After his thrilling escapade at the carnival, Chuckleberry Finn found himself in need of a moment of calm. And what better place to find it than at Chuckleville's renowned pet store, a veritable paradise for animal lovers of all ages. As Chuckleberry stepped through the doors of the pet store, he was greeted by a cacophony of squawks, chirps, and meows. From colorful fish to cuddly kittens, the store was a menagerie of sights and sounds that never failed to bring a smile to Chuckleberry's face. But it was one particular inhabitant of the pet store that caught Chuckleberry's eye. A magnificent parrot with feathers the color of the rainbow and a mischievous glint in its eye. As Chuckleberry approached the parrot's cage, he couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity stirring within him. "Hello there, matey," squawked the parrot, fixing Chuckleberry with a piercing gaze. "What's a fine young lad like yourself doing in a place like this?" Chuckling at the parrot's unexpected greeting, Chuckleberry replied, "I'm just here to enjoy the company of some furry and feathered friends. What about you, Polly? What's your story?" The parrot puffed out its chest proudly and preened its feathers before launching into a tale that left Chuckleberry speechless. It turns out that Polly wasn't just any ordinary parrot. He was a seasoned adventurer who had traveled the world in search of excitement and treasure. With each twist and turn of Polly's tale, Chuckleberry found himself drawn deeper into the parrot's world of high-flying adventures and daring escapades. From narrow escapes in the jungles of South America to thrilling chases across the high seas, Polly had seen it all. Inspired by Polly's tales of bravery and daring, Chuckleberry felt a newfound sense of determination coursing through his veins. If a talking parrot could embark on such incredible adventures, then surely he could too. And so, with a mischievous grin and a twinkle in his eye, Chuckleberry bid farewell to his feathered friend and set out into the world, ready to write the next chapter of his own adventure. Little did he know, even greater thrills and excitement awaited him in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 6. Chuckleberry's Epic Pizza Quest. With a newfound sense of adventure burning within him, Chuckleberry Finn embarked on a quest unlike any other. The quest for the perfect slice of pizza. For as long as he could remember, Chuckleberry had been a connoisseur of all things cheesy and delicious, but he had yet to taste a pizza that truly satisfied his discerning palate. Determined to rectify this culinary injustice, Chuckleberry set out on a gastronomic journey that would take him to the farthest reaches of Chuckleville and beyond. Armed with a map and an insatiable appetite, he traversed the bustling streets and winding alleyways of the town in search of the legendary pizzeria rumored to serve the best pizza in all the land. As he wandered through the colorful neighborhoods of Chuckleville, Chuckleberry couldn't help but marvel at the sights and sounds of the bustling town. From the aroma of freshly baked bread to the laughter of children playing in the streets, there was magic in the air, and Chuckleberry was determined to savor every moment of it. After what felt like hours of searching, Chuckleberry finally stumbled upon the fabled pizzeria tucked away in a quiet corner of Chuckleville. With a sense of anticipation building in his chest, he pushed open the door and stepped inside, greeted by the heavenly scent of bubbling cheese and savory tomato sauce. As he took a seat at a cozy table by the window, Chuckleberry perused the menu, his mouth watering at the sight of the mouth-watering pizza creations listed before him. From classic pepperoni to exotic pineapple and ham, the options were endless, each more tantalizing than the last. After much deliberation, Chuckleberry finally settled on a towering masterpiece known as the Supreme Chuckle Special, a decadent combination of pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, peppers, and olives piled high atop a crispy crust. As he took his first bite of the piping hot pizza, Chuckleberry's taste buds erupted in ecstasy, the flavors dancing across his tongue in a symphony of delight. It was everything he had ever dreamed of and more. The perfect balance of cheesy goodness and savory perfection. With a satisfied sigh, Chuckleberry leaned back in his chair, his belly full and his heart happy. As he gazed out at the twinkling lights of Chuckleville, he couldn't help but feel a sense of contentment wash over him. For in that moment, he knew that he had found not only the perfect slice of pizza, but also a sense of belonging in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 7. The Great Prank War of Chuckleberry Elementary. As Chuckleberry Finn savored the triumph of his epic pizza quest, a new challenge presented itself in the form of the Great Prank War of Chuckleberry Elementary. It all began innocently enough, with a simple prank gone awry during recess. It started with Chuckleberry and his friends plotting to pull a harmless prank on their classmates, replacing the school bell with a kazoo to announce the end of recess. But what was meant to be a light-hearted joke quickly escalated into an all-out prank war as rival factions formed, each vying for dominance in the halls of Chuckleberry Elementary. With each passing day, the pranks grew more elaborate and outrageous, transforming the once orderly school into a chaotic battleground of laughter and mischief. From rubber chickens in lockers to whoopee cushions on classroom chairs, no corner of Chuckleberry Elementary was safe from the pranking prowess of its mischievous students. But as the pranks escalated, so, too, did the stakes. What had started as a friendly rivalry soon spiraled out of control, threatening to tear the school apart at the seams. It was clear that something needed to be done to restore peace to Chuckleberry Elementary before it was too late. Determined to put an end to the madness once and for all, Chuckleberry rallied his friends and devised a plan to bring an end to the Great Prank War. With teamwork and ingenuity, they launched a counteroffensive that took their rivals by surprise, turning the tables and reclaiming control of their school. But just as victory seemed within their grasp, disaster struck. The principal, Mrs. Crumpet, caught wind of the chaos and threatened to suspend anyone caught participating in the prank war. Faced with the prospect of punishment, Chuckleberry and his friends knew they had to act fast to save their school from ruin. And so, with a heavy heart and a twinge of regret, Chuckleberry called for a ceasefire, bringing an end to the great prank war at Chuckleberry Elementary. Though the battles may have been lost, the friendships forged in the fires of mischief would endure, serving as a reminder of the power of laughter to unite even the most unlikely of allies. As Chuckleberry surveyed the now peaceful halls of his school, he couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't the pranks or the rivalries that defined Chuckleberry Elementary. It was the bonds of friendship that held it together, ensuring that laughter would always reign supreme in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 8. Chuckleberry's Misadventures in Babysitting. With the echoes of the great prank war still ringing in his ears, Chuckleberry Finn found himself facing a new challenge: babysitting his mischievous cousin, Little Billy, for the weekend. Now, Little Billy was no ordinary child. With a penchant for trouble and a knack for mischief that rivaled even Chuckleberry's own, he was known far and wide as the terror of Chuckleville. As Chuckleberry's Aunt Petunia dropped Little Billy off at his doorstep with a weary smile and a warning to behave, Chuckleberry couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation creeping into his chest. Babysitting Little Billy was sure to be no small feat, but Chuckleberry was determined to rise to the challenge and prove himself worthy of the task. With a deep breath and a steeling of his resolve, Chuckleberry ushered Little Billy inside and set about entertaining him with an array of games and activities. But try as he might, Chuckleberry soon realized that keeping up with his rambunctious cousin was no easy task. From finger-painting disasters to impromptu dance parties, Chuckleberry found himself swept up in a whirlwind of chaos and laughter as he attempted to keep Little Billy entertained. But just when he thought things couldn't possibly get any crazier, disaster struck in the form of a runaway hamster named Mr. Fluffykins. With Little Billy hot on his trail and Mr. Fluffykins darting through the house like a furry little tornado, Chuckleberry knew he had to act fast to avoid a catastrophe. Summoning all his wit and cunning, he concocted a plan to lure Mr. Fluffykins out of hiding using a trail of cheese doodles and catnip. After a madcap chase that led them through every corner of the house, Chuckleberry finally managed to catch Mr. Fluffykins and return him safely to his cage. As he collapsed onto the couch, exhausted but triumphant, Chuckleberry couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. And as he watched Little Billy drift off to sleep with a contented smile on his face, Chuckleberry knew that despite the chaos and the mayhem, there was nowhere else he'd rather be than in the company of his mischievous cousin. For in the end, it wasn't the challenges or the trials that defined their bond. It was the laughter and the love that they shared, ensuring that even the wildest of adventures would always have a place in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 9. The Quest for the Legendary Chuckleberry Pie. With the chaos of babysitting Little Billy behind him, Chuckleberry Finn found himself craving a taste of home, specifically a taste of his favorite dessert, the legendary Chuckleberry Pie. Made from a secret recipe passed down through generations of Chuckleberry's family, the Chuckleberry Pie was said to be the most delicious dessert in all of Chuckleville. Determined to satisfy his craving, Chuckleberry set out on a quest to track down the elusive ingredients needed to bake the perfect Chuckleberry Pie. Armed with a shopping list and a sense of determination, he combed through the bustling markets and hidden groves of Chuckleville in search of the freshest berries, the flakiest crust, and the sweetest honey. But as Chuckleberry soon discovered, gathering the ingredients for the legendary pie would be no easy task. From dodging mischievous squirrels intent on stealing his berries to outsmarting rival bakers vying for the same ingredients, Chuckleberry found himself embroiled in a series of wild and wacky adventures that tested his culinary skills to their limits. But through it all, Chuckleberry remained undeterred, his determination unwavering as he pressed on towards his goal. And after countless trials and tribulations, he finally emerged victorious, armed with all the ingredients needed to bake the perfect Chuckleberry Pie. With a flourish of his apron and a twinkle in his eye, Chuckleberry set to work in the kitchen, carefully measuring and mixing each ingredient with the precision of a master chef. As the tantalizing aroma of baking pie filled the air, Chuckleberry knew he was on the verge of creating something truly magical. And when the pie emerged from the oven, golden and bubbling with promise, Chuckleberry couldn't help but smile with satisfaction, for in that moment, he knew that he had succeeded in his quest to capture the essence of Chuckleville in pie form, a delicious tribute to the whimsical world he called home. As Chuckleberry savored the first sweet bite of his masterpiece, he couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't just a pie, it was a symbol of the adventures and the friendships that made Chuckleville truly special, ensuring that laughter and love would always have a place in its whimsical world. Chapter 10. Chuckleberry's Unforgettable Camping Trip. With the taste of victory still lingering on his lips, Chuckleberry Finn found himself yearning for yet another adventure, and what better way to satisfy his craving for excitement than with a camping trip under the stars? Gathering his gear and bidding farewell to his family and friends, Chuckleberry set off into the wilderness, his heart pounding with anticipation. With nothing but the open road stretching out before him, and the promise of adventure calling his name, he felt truly alive. As he made his way through the dense forest, Chuckleberry couldn't help but marvel at the beauty of nature surrounding him. From the gentle rustle of the leaves to the soft chirping of crickets, every sound seemed to sing with the promise of adventure. But as night fell and the darkness closed in around him, Chuckleberry realized that camping alone in the wilderness was no small feat. With only the light of the moon to guide him, he struggled to set up his tent and build a fire, his hands trembling with uncertainty. But just when he was on the verge of giving up, a voice called out from the darkness, the voice of an old hermit who had made his home in the forest for as long as anyone could remember. With a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his weathered face, the hermit offered to help Chuckleberry master the art of camping and survival. And so, under the hermit's guidance, Chuckleberry learned to navigate by the stars, build a fire from scratch, and fend off wild animals with nothing but his wits and a sturdy stick. With each lesson learned, he felt a newfound sense of confidence and determination coursing through his veins. And as the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the tranquil forest, Chuckleberry realized that he had not only survived his camping trip, but thrived in the face of adversity. For in the wilderness, he had discovered not only the beauty of nature, but also the strength and resilience within himself. With a heart full of gratitude and a sense of accomplishment, Chuckleberry bid farewell to the old hermit and set off on the journey back to Chuckleville, eager to share his tales of adventure with his family and friends. Little did he know, even greater challenges and triumphs awaited him in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 11. The Haunted House on Chuckleberry Lane. As Chuckleberry Finn returned home from his unforgettable camping trip, he found himself drawn to the mysterious abandoned house at the end of Chuckleberry Lane. For as long as he could remember, the old mansion had stood empty, its windows boarded up and its doors sealed tight against intruders. But rumors swirled through the streets of Chuckleville, rumors of ghostly apparitions and eerie noises emanating from within the dilapidated walls of the house. And as Chuckleberry gazed up at the looming structure, he couldn't help but feel a shiver of excitement run down his spine. Determined to unravel the mysteries of the haunted house, Chuckleberry recruited a team of brave volunteers from among his friends and set out to investigate. With flashlights in hand and nerves of steel, they crept through the overgrown garden and pushed open the creaking door, stepping into the darkness beyond. As they ventured deeper into the bowels of the house, they encountered all manner of spooky sights and sounds, from flickering shadows to mysterious footsteps echoing through the halls. But with each new discovery, Chuckleberry's determination only grew stronger, his curiosity driving him ever onward. And then, just when they thought they couldn't take another step, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a secret door. Inside, they found a treasure trove of artifacts and heirlooms, each more mysterious than the last. But the true secret of the haunted house was yet to be revealed, for as they delved deeper into the chamber, they uncovered a hidden passage leading to a forgotten underground tunnel, a tunnel that stretched deep into the heart of Chuckleville, connecting the old mansion to the town's darkest secrets. With their hearts pounding and their pulses racing, Chuckleberry and his friends followed the tunnel to its end, where they made a startling discovery: the remains of an ancient treasure buried beneath the streets of Chuckleville for centuries. As they emerged from the tunnel, bathed in the warm glow of the morning sun, Chuckleberry and his friends knew that they had uncovered something truly extraordinary, and as they returned home to Chuckleberry Lane, they couldn't help but chuckle to themselves at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't ghosts or ghouls that defined the haunted house. It was the spirit of adventure and the bonds of friendship that made Chuckleville truly special. Chapter 12. Chuckleberry's Big Talent Show Disaster. With the mysteries of the haunted house behind him, Chuckleberry Finn found himself facing a new challenge: the Chuckleville Annual Talent Show. For as long as he could remember, Chuckleberry had dreamed of showcasing his talents on the big stage, and now, with the opportunity finally at hand, he was determined to make the most of it. With a twinkle in his eye and a spring in his step, Chuckleberry set to work preparing his act for the talent show. After much deliberation, he settled on a daring display of juggling, confident that his nimble fingers and quick reflexes would dazzle the audience and leave them begging for more. But as the night of the talent show drew near, disaster struck in the form of a sudden case of stage fright. With butterflies fluttering in his stomach and his palms sweaty with nerves, Chuckleberry found himself paralyzed with fear at the thought of stepping out onto the stage in front of a crowd of eager onlookers. Determined to overcome his fears and prove himself worthy of the spotlight, Chuckleberry sought out the wise old hermit who had helped him master the art of camping and survival. With a sympathetic smile and a twinkle in his eye, the hermit offered Chuckleberry words of wisdom and encouragement, reminding him that true bravery lay not in the absence of fear, but in the courage to face it head-on. Buoyed by the hermit's sage advice, Chuckleberry took a deep breath and stepped out onto the stage, his heart pounding in his chest as he prepared to showcase his talent to the world. And as the spotlight bathed him in its warm glow and the audience erupted into cheers and applause, Chuckleberry felt a sense of exhilaration unlike anything he had ever experienced before. With each toss and catch of his juggling routine, Chuckleberry felt his confidence soar, his fears melting away in the face of the adulation of the crowd. And when he finally took his bow to thunderous applause, he knew that he had conquered his stage fright and emerged victorious, stronger and braver than ever before. As he stepped off the stage, Chuckleberry couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't the juggling act or the applause that defined his success. It was the courage to face his fears and follow his dreams, ensuring that laughter and love would always have a place in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 13. The Secret Treasure of Chuckle Island. With the excitement of the talent show behind him, Chuckleberry Finn found himself drawn to yet another adventure: the quest for the legendary treasure of Chuckle Island. For centuries, rumors had circulated among the residents of Chuckleville about a hidden treasure buried somewhere on the remote island just off the coast. Determined to uncover the truth behind the legend, Chuckleberry gathered his most adventurous friends and set sail for Chuckle Island aboard the trusty Chuckleberry Express, a rickety old boat that had seen its fair share of high seas adventures. As they navigated the treacherous waters surrounding the island, Chuckleberry and his crew encountered all manner of obstacles, from stormy seas to ravenous sea monsters. But with their courage and determination guiding them, they pressed on towards their goal, undeterred by the challenges that lay ahead. Finally, after days of sailing and countless trials, Chuckleberry and his crew arrived at Chuckle Island, their eyes alight with excitement at the prospect of uncovering the hidden treasure. With shovels in hand and hearts full of anticipation, they set off into the dense jungle in search of clues that would lead them to their prize. But as they ventured deeper into the heart of the island, they soon discovered that they were not alone. A rival crew of treasure hunters, led by the dastardly Captain Blackbeard, had also set their sights on the legendary treasure of Chuckle Island, and they would stop at nothing to claim it for themselves. With danger lurking around every corner and betrayal waiting in the shadows, Chuckleberry and his crew found themselves locked in a race against time to uncover the treasure before Captain Blackbeard and his band of pirates could get their hands on it. But just when all hope seemed lost, Chuckleberry stumbled upon a hidden cave concealed beneath a waterfall, where the treasure lay hidden in plain sight. With a triumphant cry, he and his crew unearthed the treasure, a glittering hoard of gold coins, precious jewels, and ancient artifacts that sparkled in the light of the setting sun. As they sailed back to Chuckleville aboard the Chuckleberry Express, their pockets bulging with treasure and their hearts full of triumph. Chuckleberry couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't the treasure itself that mattered. It was the friendships forged and the adventures shared along the way, ensuring that laughter and love would always have a place in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 14. Chuckleberry's Grand Adventure in the Land of Dreams. As Chuckleberry Finn returned home from his epic quest for the treasure of Chuckle Island, he found himself longing for yet another adventure, one that would take him beyond the bounds of reality and into the fantastical realm of dreams. With a sense of wonder and curiosity burning within him, Chuckleberry closed his eyes and allowed himself to drift into the realm of slumber, where anything was possible and the only limit was the boundless imagination. As he journeyed through the land of dreams, Chuckleberry found himself surrounded by surreal landscapes and whimsical creatures that seemed to defy logic and reason. From talking animals to dancing trees, every corner of the dream world was alive with magic and wonder. But amidst the wonders of the dream world, Chuckleberry also encountered his fair share of challenges and trials. From navigating treacherous mazes, outwitting cunning adversaries, he found himself tested in ways he had never imagined possible. But with each challenge overcome, Chuckleberry felt a sense of growth and transformation taking root within him. As he delved deeper into the mysteries of the dream world, he discovered hidden talents and strengths he never knew he possessed, each one helping him on his journey towards self-discovery and enlightenment. And then, just when he thought his adventure couldn't possibly get any stranger, Chuckleberry stumbled upon a hidden doorway leading to the heart of the dream world, a place of infinite possibility and endless wonder, where dreams and reality blurred together in a kaleidoscope of color and light. With a sense of awe and wonderment, Chuckleberry stepped through the doorway and into the heart of the dream world, where he was greeted by a chorus of laughter and song. And as he danced and laughed with the fantastical creatures that inhabited the dream world, he knew that he had found a place where he truly belonged. As he bid farewell to the dream world and returned to the waking world once more, Chuckleberry couldn't help but chuckle to himself at the absurdity of it all. For in the end, it wasn't the adventures or the treasures that defined his journey. It was the joy and wonder he found along the way, ensuring that laughter and love would always have a place in the whimsical world of Chuckleville. Chapter 15. Chuckleberry's Final Farewell. As Chuckleberry Finn reflected on his many adventures and the countless friends he had made along the way, he knew that the time had come to bid farewell to the whimsical world of Chuckleville. With a heavy heart and a lifetime of memories to cherish, he set out on one final journey to say goodbye to the friends who had become like family to him. From the bustling streets of Chuckleville to the tranquil shores of Chuckle Beach, Chuckleberry visited each corner of the town, reliving the memories of his past adventures and sharing laughter and love with those he had come to hold dear. But as he made his way through the familiar streets and alleyways, Chuckleberry couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness creeping into his heart. For he knew that with each goodbye, he was leaving a piece of himself behind, a piece of the boy who had embarked on his first adventure with nothing but a sense of curiosity and a twinkle in his eye. And yet, amidst the sadness, there was also a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the friendships forged, the lessons learned, and the countless moments of joy and laughter that had filled his days in Chuckleville. As the sun began to set on Chuckleberry Lane, Chuckleberry gathered his friends and family together for one final farewell. With tears in his eyes and a lump in his throat, he thanked them for the memories and the love they had shared, promising to carry their laughter with him wherever he went. And as he turned to leave Chuckleville behind and set out on a new journey, Chuckleberry knew that while he may be saying goodbye to one chapter of his life, he was also opening the door to a new adventure, an adventure filled with endless possibilities and the promise of new friendships yet to be made. With a smile on his face and a heart full of love, Chuckleberry waved goodbye to the whimsical world of Chuckleville, knowing that no matter where life took him, he would always carry a piece of Chuckleville with him, a piece of home, a piece of laughter, and a piece of love that would never fade away. Epilogue. Chuckleberry's legacy. Years passed since Chuckleberry Finn bid farewell to the whimsical world of Chuckleville, but his adventures and the memories he created lived on in the hearts and minds of those he touched. Though he ventured far from the town he once called home, Chuckleberry's legacy endured, weaving its way through the fabric of Chuckleville's history and shaping the lives of its residents for generations to come. The children of Chuckleville grew up hearing tales of Chuckleberry's daring escapades, from his epic treasure hunts to his misadventures in babysitting, and they dreamed of following in his footsteps, carving out their own place in the world just as he had done. And though Chuckleberry himself had long since moved on to new adventures and new horizons, the spirit of laughter and love he brought to Chuckleville never waned. For in the hearts of its residents, he would always be remembered as the boy who dared to dream, the boy who laughed in the face of danger, and the boy who taught them that anything was possible if you had the courage to believe in yourself. As Chuckleville continued to thrive and grow, it remained a place of wonder and magic, where laughter echoed through the streets and friendship bloomed like flowers in the springtime. And though the world outside may have changed, Chuckleberry's legacy endured, a beacon of hope and joy in a world that sometimes seemed dark and uncertain. And so, as the sun set on another day in Chuckleville, the residents gathered together to celebrate the life and legacy of their beloved friend. With laughter and love in their hearts, they raised their voices in song, knowing that as long as they remembered Chuckleberry Finn, his spirit would live on in the whimsical world they called home. Thanks for watching.